hustler. When he pull up, wanna pop my hood up. Baby, better have a six pack in the cooler. Getting money, divas getting money. If you ain't getting money, then you ain't got nothing for me. Tell me something, where your boss, where your boss. So my ladies up in here, they like the top wax. I wanna see ya, I like to meet ya. What you say? She ain't no diva.
Over-the-top chopper stunt for her daughter has sparked a controversy in the south suburbs.
The mother behind it all is the chief of the Markham Park District. She doesn't understand what the fuss is all about. WGN's Patrick Elwood shows you what the fuss is all about.
Is there any communication between the city and here about the aircraft?
I got it.
It was intended to be a pre-prom gathering like no other. Here in Markham at Rosner Park, a park district executive arranged to have a chopper land for a one-of-a-kind prom photo op for her daughter.
Are there any type of FAA regulations or anything like that?
But within moments after the helicopter landed, Markham police intervened and shut it all down. The young lady was able to get some pics, but the flyover that mom arranged was never allowed to happen. And yes, mom, Quintina Brown, says to some it may seem excessive, but to her as a mother, that's exactly what it was supposed to be. An over-the-top, once-in-a-lifetime experience. And if you want to know, she says it cost about $800.
And she was graduating, and this was going to be a memorable experience. I just wanted to be able to provide that for her. I didn't think that it was going to blow up as much as it did, Sally, but I'm glad she was happy. She was able to do her photo shoot with the unexpected turn of events that had transpired and unfortunately went viral.
I was a little sad and disappointed because I didn't know that there was an issue with it being out here.
The Park District Board Commissioner, Kenneth Muldrow, agrees with Quintina. Your contention is there's nothing on the books that would prevent her or prevent this thing from happening. Is that correct?
That is definitely correct. Absolutely not. There's nothing on the books that would prevent this from happening.
So you're okay with all of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was her send-off.
But the Markham mayor says he absolutely positively disagrees. It begins and ends with public safety. And he says he's had experience flying and landing helicopters.
So we want to make sure that things are safe. We had no notice, no anything, and I've landed them in neighborhoods. We've always had medical people to stand by. We've had fire department to stand by. We've had spotters. We've had distances that were safe, that we knew that those propellers would not harm anyone, that not even something could turn into, being projected and thrown at, trajectory of some kind of way.
Both Quintina Brown and the chopper pilot were issued tickets.
And listen, guys, it's Delta time. It's 9:13. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. We're up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page. Interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. Be sure to like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. Check me out. Share with your family, friends, church members. Listen, guys, you get the theme. I hope you all enjoyed the promo that was created with love and talent, because we are going to continue our conversation. It's Fired Up Wednesday. And the gifts just keep on giving to the TCS. That's right, the Cleopatra Show. And we're going to continue to talk about prom send-offs. Just last week, not even a week ago, it was on Funny Clip Fridays that I produced and presented this conversation to us. And at that point, the height of the conversation was a horse and carriage ride. On Wednesday, how many days later, I am presenting to you prom via helicopter. That's right, in the city of Markham. You heard it. The executive director of that park district, and what seemed to be not a really well thought out plan, saw nothing wrong with a helicopter landing on Markham property, the people's property, the park that they pay for. Now, let me put it in perspective from a Southlander standpoint. And I've had some experience working on a number of campaigns, in fact, managing county commissioner's race, so I can speak directly to the amount of money Southlanders put on, and it's not take away from the West or all the other suburbs, but Southlanders exclusively. They pay for every blade of grass when it comes to that park district, okay? Those schools, their property taxes are outlandish. It's not to say everybody else's isn't. But since we're in the city of Markham, where my family is from, I look forward to this conversation with you. And ultimately, that mom, she wanted her baby to have the send off of all send offs. And later in the show, I'm going to have Sonya put up the video. I'm going to drop the video in the chat. But they out there with what perceives to be a good time. Maybe it's lemonade in the cup. Maybe it's something else in the cup. But they out there having a grand old time. And the helicopter lands. And folk is taking cover because they had no idea. And both from a leadership perspective, nobody saw anything wrong but Mayor Powell. Now, Mayor Powell will be with us on Friday. Good friend of mine. And I love me some Mayor Powell. And Mayor Powell said, absolutely not. This is a public safety issue. Hello. And even Bert Olderson. Shout out to Bert Olderson, whom I've tangled with affectionately at times and in a fight at others. He represents the city of Markham. And he said, who authorized this? So in the dashboard camera, the officer's camera that he's wearing, she authorized it. So nowhere on the books is this a problem. So I have to present this to the listening audience. We're discussing prom via helicopter. What is over the top? What is it? 773-591-1690. Now, this little baby went viral. And then initially the plan was for her to take back off into the helicopter. Once helicopter landed and she took her pictures, she was going to, I guess, pull up at prom. But they said, no, ma'am, this helicopter is to be grounded. It's not going to leave. So I see you all in the chat. Good morning, Quintella, Rufus, Diane, Barbara. The phone lines are lighting up. I need to hear from you all because now my husband just told me back when we were educators, he remembered a camel on the west side of Chicago that pulled up for the baby, a humpback camel. So I can go on and on with these stories, but in real time from Friday until today, I'm back, and I am back pulling up in a helicopter. What happened to the Honda? What happened to the photos in the living room? Because I got plenty of photos in my mom and daddy living room, okay? Now, the splitting the corsage, that was Sonya's idea. I ain't never split no corsage. Either you got me one or you did. And if you don't, where we going? But the point that I'm making is a helicopter. Seriously. Now, this mother is a working mom. She's the executive director of the park district. So $800 doesn't seem like much to her, right? And is it much to you? So what is too much? Are we making too much of a big of an ideal of this, right? Should we just mind our business, or should we have this whole cultural conversation about it? I think it's a cultural conversation because here's the deal. Once you've lived a life in a career path, you can't unlive it. So as a former post-secondary director for Chicago Public Schools, I left with a $6 million portfolio. So money talk, all the rest of it walk for me. And I've sent children all across the country. So I take it very personal. This is before I had children. I've been with children a long time. So I am saying I've bore witness to the shenanigans to the point where by August, the baby is in tears and had a wonderful opportunity to go either in-state or out-of-state. But because nobody got the gas money to gas up the pacer to take the child, they're relegated to the city colleges. Now, there's nothing wrong with the city colleges unless it's out of resentment. Resentment because your mama or daddy or whomever didn't have the resources or squandered it or didn't invest in it enough to protect your vested interest in your future to be educated. And now what? So we're going to have a real conversation. Because if you got it like that, cool. But it also sets the tone. And this is why I think babies are confused. But grown folk, big old age grown folk, some of you all live your lives vicariously on TikTok and think this is what's up. Come on, tango with me. It's Fired Up Friday, Wednesday. And I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. Who pulling up in a helicopter? Or did you always want a helicopter? Give me a call. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
Tucker Carlson took it to the extreme and apologized to the electorate. I think Tucker knows that an 80-year-old demented man who's in his pain might not be the future anymore. I don't know that it is regret, but I think that he's done something I haven't seen very many people do, which is just take the onus on themselves and say they apologize and to see what they can do to make it right.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
No.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance. And they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
Ready to fire up your taste buds, Chicago? Black-owned Kodo Hibachi serves fresh, authentic hibachi and sushi, served with a smile. Grab takeout, order delivery, or dine in casual style. No flaming show, just flavor that steals the spotlight. And hey, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Visit them at 258 West 31st Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8. Friday and Saturday till 9. Sundays till 7. And don't forget, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Kodo Hibachi, where flavor meets culture.
Pull up to the flagship location at 258 West 31st Street and stay tuned. The Kodo family is growing. New location coming soon. Early detection saves lives. Routine screenings and regular doctor visits can help identify serious health concerns before symptoms even begin. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by the South Suburban Chicago, Illinois chapter of the Lynx Incorporated and Vantive.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Big improvements along the Ryan. You're down to 22 minutes from 95th Street to downtown. Outbound, things are pretty quiet. Also nice and light along the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial at this time, both moving along at a 17-minute trip in. As you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, you're down to 16 minutes from 67th Street to Jackson, 16 as well from Hollywood to Monroe. The Stevenson Inn from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 45 minutes outbound. You're looking at a 35-minute trip. If you're on the Eisenhower, now 50 from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, you do want to factor in a disabled vehicle blocking the left lane at 25th. We're seeing traffic having to go around that situation. Outbound along the Eisenhower, a 45-minute trip. And the Kennedy's shaping up nicely as well, down to 35 in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, moving along at about 37 minutes. Taking a look at our weather on the cloudy side, the National Weather Service says pretty mild today. We're going to top out somewhere around 60. Tonight, going down to 44. Still 55 at Midway, 55 in West Chesterfield, and 55 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Flanoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 9:26. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show, and we are talking about prom. I know we presented this Friday, and Friday I was at the level of horse and carriage ride. Money talk, the boys come with the big wad of money, talking about some hello. Maybe they got a C note on the front and a C note on the back, and in between all of them ones, hello. And then you got the money dance, you got the Superman doors. By Friday, that was the understanding. Today, Wednesday, y'all. And I came back with some more heat. It's Fired Up Wednesday, and I want to know who pulling up in a helicopter. What was your wildest dream when you went to prom? Mine was hope my mama and my mama and daddy ain't all in my pictures. I hope Danny is able to come in the house. It was simple stuff for me, right? I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. This mama not only is in leadership in the city of Markham, I didn't find nothing wrong with pulling up in a helicopter on public property with folk ducking for cover because she wanted to make her baby happy. Who want to talk to me? I want to talk to you. Let's talk to Lee. Lee, welcome to WVON.
Hey, good morning, Cleopatra. Hey, I ask you, when you're raising your children, do you look at them and say that for some reason you're going to raise them differently than you were, even though you turned out to be who you are? And that's when I think about these parents today who try to feel like they need to overextend for their children and be their friend, I guess, more so, or be cool rather than be their parents. And to me, that undermines the very fact that you're where you are because you had different parents, or you have parents that raised you differently. So why do you feel now that if you go to these great lengths to please or become so close to your child to show that you are cool in this social media, TikTok, Instagram world, why you won't be surprised then if they grow up different, if they grow up back talking to you, or if they go up demanding, or if they go up disrespecting you? You shouldn't be too surprised, should you? Or am I off base with that? What do you think?
No, I good call. I think you're right on the money. Now, personalities are personalities, right? But I think how you raise up your children is a reflection of you and your desires. I distinctly recall yesterday when we were working on programming for this topic, I said to Sonia, my super producer, I said, I bet money this was her mama's idea. Because as a former educator exclusively in high school, I've yet to meet a young person that came up with an idea like that. Even in this social media era, that is still beyond measures, right? And it is so wild that if you were to present it to your mother, you wouldn't believe that it could be done, which made me land on the mother. So I pointed all fingers, elbows, and toes to the mom. 773-591-1690. When we come back, Melinda, Frank, Katie, Keith, Anthony, and hey, Charlene. I see you all on the live line, and I see you all in the chat. We'll be back.
Partly cloudy skies, temperatures are expected to cap out at around 60 degrees. Good morning, I'm Anna Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Several Chicago aldermen are questioning Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration on why it's taking so long to replace the gunshot detector ShotSpotter. Perry Williams reports.
23rd Ward Alderwoman Silvana Tabares says the city's not moving fast enough in the vetting of 9 companies with bids.
A man was shot and killed in my ward on Thanksgiving night in Garfield Ridge neighborhood. His body laid in the street for 10 minutes because no one called 911.
Mayor Johnson says he wants to make sure that they're thorough in the vetting process to make sure the technology they do select is extremely effective in addressing violent crime in the city. I'm Perry Williams.
New this hour, State Representative LaShawn Ford came out of a field of 13 Democratic candidates to win the 7th Congressional Primary District election. Now, in an exclusive interview this morning, he reflects on his successful win and supporters and tells WVON's Rufus Williams that the biggest factor was the endorsement from his mentor, U.S. Congressman Danny K. Davis.
So we really align well with doing work for the people. And so I was blessed to be able to have such I would say a legend in the United States Congress and to endorse me.
Representative Ford says he's focused on issues affecting Illinois, such as the new SNAP requirements and cuts, as well as the primary election in November. The general election, rather, in November. Now that those so-called predatory payday loan companies are virtually a thing of the past, according to the Woodstock Report, folks are much better off. In an exclusive WVO interview this morning with Rufus Williams, Karen Freeman Wilson, president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, says Illinois residents have actually saved more than $1 billion under the new lending guidelines.
Prior to the payday lenders leaving, they were borrowing. Folks were borrowing $1 billion and paying exorbitant interest rates up to 400%. Now they're borrowing $1.4 billion, but the interest rate is capped at 36%. That's good news. That's a win. That's more money in people's pockets.
She also talked about the impact of recent cuts on the SNAP supplemental food program, calling the cuts a war on poor people.
Is poor, working class, anyone who needs assistance. And it comes as a result of something that they had the audacity to call the big, beautiful bill. And so, it is a problem. It is something that we have to continuously fight against.
The state of Illinois estimates that about 120,000 people could lose their benefits. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 9:33.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided a land trust and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No changes in your travel times, but we are tracking a new accident. It is happening right now on the outbound side of the Eisenhower at Austin. Taking a look at your weather, cloudy skies today. The National Weather Service says we're going to cap out at around 60 degrees. Tonight, dipping down to just about 44. But we're up to 56 at O'Hare. It's 56 in Lansing and 56 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 9:36. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And listen, guys, I just want to know who pulling up with the helicopter. How you feel? Well, one thing about it, for those that seeing is believing, join us. Sonny's going to put on StreamYard the video for you all to tune into of this helicopter and the lawsuit. If you don't know much about Bert Odelson, Lord knows I do. Him don't play. And right now we're looking at the helicopter and the aerial view from the camera that the officer is wearing as he's engaging with the mom, who again is the executive director of the park district in Markham, and the images. So literally a play lot, and the mom is having this conversation, and the helicopter is real, and the baby got her little photos, and she got the $1 million shot. But she can't pull off in the helicopter because they have legally grounded it because it was not FAA approved or sanctioned by the city of Markham to land on public property. Now, somebody in the chat asked, well, how much did the mother pay for the helicopter? And I'm going to tell you, she proclaims it was $800. And the second half of that question was that enough to lose your job? And that was where I landed. So when we were programming yesterday for the story, you know, she appears to be sensible. Quintina Brown rose to be in this prominent role, making reasonable money. And, you know, if you know anything about the Park District, it's hard to get fired from there. But yet and still, the challenge is going to be what's on the books. So here is, again, an opportunity class where it's not all civics, governance. It makes us examine what exactly are in the laws and policies that constitutes whether or not this is or not okay. And is there a gray area? And here's where the legalese come in. And that's where Bert Odelson and his team come in to challenge the opportunity, you know, and to really push against logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning, we will come to underscore in American history, has nothing to do with policy. It truly doesn't. Because either it is written or it is not. And we're going to watch this play out again. I'm going to give you all a forecast. Hanging out with me Friday is Mayor Powell, the mayor of the city of Markham. So he's going to weigh in on this. But right now, I want to hear from you. So I'm going back to the phone lines and let's talk to Anthony. Anthony, welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Queen Cleopatra.
Good morning.
Okay, and this was a city official. Am I correct?
No. So this is a park district official. So, for example, in the city of Chicago, we have sister agencies. So our park district is a sister agency, but not necessarily hired by the mayor. So they have their own board of review and all of that. So Mayor Powell did not make this hire.
Okay, I get it. But you know what, Queen Cleopatra, and you wonder why our kids think the way they think, do the things that they do. You know what, my dad used to always tell me, not saying that this is directed toward this young lady, but my dad used to always say is, if you find an ignorant individual, you follow them home and knock on that door, an ignorant person will answer.
I agree with that. It's very possible.
I say that to say this. We living in this era where it's, and she knew it was gonna go viral. We living in this social media era, this reality show era, this money era, look at me era, where these kids, everything is materialistic now. And you could tell by the way our kids interact or how they act. And it's sad, the young lady sounds very intelligent, but there's something missing there. When you feel like this is something important for your daughter and you risk your job for, I think she did it for likes, looks, this whole look at me era we live in. That is outrageous now. Come on now. You gotta do better than that. But I'm gonna leave you with this, Queen Cleopatra. Right now, I cannot worry about America's financial situation. I'm just going to leave you with that. And I quote, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the call. Let's keep the phone lines going. I still have one call line open. Give me a call. We're talking about a helicopter at prom. Is it over the top? You tell me. Let's talk to Melinda. Melinda, welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Cleopatra. I think it's a little over the top for me, but obviously not for her. I think a lot of people do this, like the guy was saying, because it's substantial money if it goes viral. Hope she doesn't lose her job, but that's going to be up to the Markham or, the park district she works for. But I think people do these things because it's something that's attainable to a lot of people to do just to honor their children. Some people will go over the top. I mean, that's their business. It really is.
Good call. Good call. I think there was a time when it was their business until the magnitude of social media and the transformation of information has shared the business, right? So ultimately, she probably did not foresee this opportunity going viral, but it does spark a conversation. And I always tend to say to my husband, and it's practically second nature for me, the apple don't roll too far from the tree. I ain't never seen too many that do. Now, going back to Anthony, if you meet an ignorant person with an E, not an I, and you knock on the door of the household, every blue moon, it's a unicorn walking around there. It happens. Trust me. I've worked in Chicago public schools where I've seen some real colorful parents be the parent of said child. And I be like, that's your mama? That's your mama? Genetics is funny. I'm going back to the phone lines. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Mrs. Cleopatra Draper. Thank you for the floor and giving me a chance to speak in it. I didn't write anything down for this one because I don't have to. I was in the military in a fixed wing battalion unit, and I've been to a couple proms before. And to go to prom, y'all be getting right. Y'all put the dress on. Y'all put the hair on. Y'all, I don't care what kind of hair styles, what kind of hair quality God gave you. You still make it look right. Helicopters move air. Critical thinking. Why didn't somebody think this is gonna mess up the dress, the hair, whatever? Why wasn't? I mean, shouldn't that automatically come in? Helicopters move a lot of air to do what they do, and that's gonna mess up the look. Am I wrong?
It depends. Yeah, because the wind. Yeah, you right. But she had a pin up, so they knew exactly. So that is an excellent point. She didn't have loose curls. Her hair was stiff as a board, so she had all intended purposes to have this helicopter, and which is obvious because she executed it. Good point right there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we see the details men point out is so peculiar to me. He is exactly right. And if you've been on the helicopter, I have. If you've been on the helicopter, yes, the hairstyle does make a difference because of the wind. Let's talk to Katie. Katie, welcome to WVON.
Hello, Cleopatra. Can you hear me? Because I'm in my car.
Yes.
Okay, great. That is like over the top, and I find that the people who do these things, they don't have money for college, like to get the child to college, to even complete a first and second year of college, and with the tricks that these colleges now are playing on poor children. And then what is the net worth of the people in the town that she had it at? And what laws did she break? And then it's horrible. Just like the people have all this money and everything for tattoos and everything, but they can't get the kids to college. They have the child calls home for money. They have no money to send the child. The child has to end up coming back home. Do they have life insurance policy? What happened? If something happened, did she have the life insurance policy to take care of the burial for whatever if something horrible happened? It's just, and I'm glad that you are bringing this up and keeping on this, because things got to change. It's horrible. When gas is $5.40-something, it's horrible.
It is. I mean, excellent point. To even fuel the chopper, okay? I hope the mother, not whether she's telling the truth or not, but I've been on a helicopter ride, but fuel in this economy, I just can't see a ride being $800. I really couldn't, especially a private chartered helicopter. But okay, even if it wasn't $800, is it the principle? What exactly about this story ignites anger or frustration or disappointment? What exactly is the emotion? Is it all of the above? Is it the audacity? Is it that's her baby, she do what she want? But then when you have all of this calamity in the world, or is it like the clip I played? In the clip that I played Friday, and I may have to revisit that. I'll come back to that so I can remind us. The man is saying, you do what you do, but here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to send me now one GoFundMe, now one double good popcorn text. I'm going to play it when we come back. I'm going to remind us about what I set the tone for Friday. Because at the end of the day, her peers are seeing this. But are we responsible for the peers? Or are we responsible for our child? Are we responsible for our showmanship in the culture? Or are you just your own individual in the culture? Can you be a collective 1 minute and be an individual another? What exactly is this? Now, where my niece that just went on junior prom, man, it was just regular as I don't know what. And the hype probably was what lipstick color or what popping lip gloss I'm gonna wear. Dress was beautiful, the pressure. So is this a black thing in terms of pressure to just one up? What we gonna do next year? I'm gonna see a rocket pull up. I'm really serious at this point, because to the point of the caller, I'm guaranteeing more than half of what we see don't have policies, not only in death but in life, in terms of education and etc., to invest in this child. So is it worth it? So when we come back, I'm going to play the clip, but I want us to pinpoint our emotions. Is it frustration? Is it disappointment? Is it anger? Or are you overjoyed? Do your thing? Are you excited? Look, go ahead, mama. Girl, break them rules that they ain't never said that they had, because it ain't on the books. I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. When we come back, Mouse, Miss Lee, Nash, and the phone lines are still lighting up. I got a few open, and I see you all in the chat. Now, Brother Wall said he need a tardy pass. Who should he go talk to? Security, come through to the TCS show. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
Nick Cannon's logic is as weak as his Everybody fucking knew that Republicans freed the slaves. Everybody knew it. The last time he did something for black people was 163 years ago. You got to update your resume. Have a 5-year gap on your resume and see if it's valid. when Republicans did that, Hawaii wasn't a state. If you're going to talk about the greatest of a policy that helped black people out, it should at least be sometime after the fucking moon landing.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in. Retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
Hey Chicago, it's Sir Henry Cheatham, your Magnolia Blues man. Chicago Blues Fest is back and WVON is bringing the soul of the city with it. Join your favorite WVON personalities June 5th through the 7th at Millennium Park for this event. Friday night, we're celebrating 55 years of Alligator Records with tribute to Coco Taylor, Lonnie Brooks, Hound Dog Taylor, and Chris Stone, Kingfish Ingram. Saturday, we're bringing 75 years of Chicago blues to the main stage, featuring Chicago's own Billy Branch, Kenny Neal, and Ronnie Baker Brooks. And we'll close out the weekend on Sunday with the legendary Taj Mahal and their Phantom Blues Band. A special tribute to women in blues featuring Lynn Jordan and the Shivers, Melody Angel, and Deetra Farr. And keep listening for a chance to win an exclusive VIP Blues Fest experience. For more information, visit WVON.com/events. Brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DKs.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson on the line.
I saw a meme that said America will come and get you. When it's about the oil, they bombed in Iran, they've got oil. They bombed in Iraq, they've got oil. They bombed in Libya, they've got oil. And now they bombed in Venezuela, they've got oil. And they even came after Diddy because he had oil.
Come on, Congressman.
What a great setup.
That was good. That was good.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, Chicago, this one is for you. Join OG Mr. Rick for the OG Culture Report every Thursday night from 9 to 12 right here on WVON 1690 AM. We're talking the culture, our stories, the streets, politics, entertainment, our struggles, our wins, and the voices that matter. Don't miss it. Every Thursday night, 9 to 12, the OG Culture Report with yours truly, OG Mr. Rick on WVON 1690. That's it. That's all.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The inbound Ryan, an 18-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. We're seeing some slow spots in the usual places, 95th Street to 75th, and again from 43rd Street to Roosevelt Road. As you make your way along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial and DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things are nice and light. Along the Stevenson and from I-355 to DuSable Drive, that's a 35-minute trip. Outbound will take you 30. The Eisenhower in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, give yourself 50 minutes there. Outbound, we are looking at about 45 minutes, but we're seeing some heavy spots right now, pretty solid from Ashland to the old post office. Along the Kennedy in from O'Hare to downtown, that's a 30-minute trip. Getting to the airport, you're looking at 30 as well. Taking a look at our weather, a little hazy sunshine for now. We're seeing some clouds, but overall bright skies. Temperatures climbing near 60 today, dropping down to 44 tonight. It's 55 at Midway, 56 in Kenwood, and 56 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Prom send-offs getting out of hand. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I've been seeing kids coming in flying from helicopters and leaving in Rolls Royces. Now, I ain't judging nobody pockets. You can do whatever it is that you want to do with your money. Just know that after you spend $700,000 sending your child to prom, I don't want to be invited to no truck party. Have that college money already put together, because why the hell you saving for prom, but when it's time for them to go to school, you ain't got no money?
Also, make sure they graduate. Don't spend all that money on them going to prom and they can't even walk the stage. And I've seen some of these houses. Some houses don't have no business having a Bentley or a Rolls Royce pulling off, let alone being in front of it. Let's get our priorities together. That's all I'm saying. And I know it's going to be somebody in the comments. People can do whatever they want to do. You hate. I'm not hating. I'm telling you, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm just saying, as a responsible adult, that when it comes time to send your child off to college or do whatever it is that you need to do, when your rent due next month, I don't want to see no GoFundMe. When you got something going on and your bills due, I don't want to see you out here begging. And damn sure don't send me no popcorn fundraiser to help pay for anybody's graduation or anything because you spent the money on prom. Remember that.
And we are back. The time is 9:55. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. All right. I'm not telling you to call me now for your free theater reading, but I am on some Miss Cleo. I played this clip Friday. Now, here we are on a fired up Wednesday, and literally a black baby had a helicopter pull up to take her to prom. Okay, y'all. It's not just me. Now, I know we got a fire show. Now, I do know that, and I stand on business when it comes to that. But I'm saying, Black America, please talk to me. Are we okay with this? I know that we can't control what other people do. Lord knows I know that. But for the culture, for the expectations, can we level set? What's going on, y'all? Is it the lead in the Kool-Aid water? What is happening with the way we thinking when the mother says she didn't see nothing wrong? She just want to make her baby happy. Now, I got one phone line open. I'm going to go to the live line, and you all hold tight because I'm going to try to get through all these calls. Let's talk to Nash. Nash, talk to me. Welcome to WVON. Nash, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Cleopatra. I was raised down in Canton, Mississippi. My mother raised 7 boys and 1 girl by herself. Everybody went to college except myself. And I came to Chicago as a teenager with nearly $2,000 in my pocket because she taught me to save instead of doing things like that. I did go to prom, and my brother was driving his girlfriend's daddy's car because they thought he was worthy to let him drive that big old Oldsmobile station wagon with 3 couples in it. But I said that to say this. If the parents would teach their children to save, I know they don't want to hear old school stuff, but all they got to do is save some of their money. My mother taught us to save in the passbook they had at the bank, 25 cents a week. And I had $12.50 way back when I was a little kid for Christmas. So with that, if they could teach them to save some of their money, they can enjoy, but they're not going to have money when the parents have passed on and can't give it to them.
Good call, Nash. I appreciate when you call. Listen, guys, let's talk to Mouse. Mouse, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hello, Queen Cleo. Great show, excellent always, as usual. A couple of quick points. Number one, that this could have went left on so many levels with that, just from a safety perspective, right? Every day you turn on the news, these planes and airports and planes are hitting people on the runway. So that's just number one. Number two, I hate to be cynical, but this very well may have been the pinnacle for not just this child, but several others, which is why some of these parents go to the very extreme, because they know this is it for their children. They're not going to school. They're not going to get a job. And I'm not painting with a broad stroke, but for the most case, right? The next piece is this is coming from someone who just sent their daughter on prom, and we set a budget. And I told this girl, let me tell you something, young lady, this is our budget. We're going to stay at it or beneath if we're lucky. This is it. This is all. When you get to this number, that's it. You can wear Bobby socks. I don't care. We've reached our number. This is it. And then the previous gentleman, the previous gentleman, he just checked all my boxes with everything he said from a point of conduct and prioritizing. You know, I'm not banning you on popcorn. Not going to happen. Right? So,
good call, Mouse.
That's all.
Listen, Terrence, Miss Lee, Deborah, Frank, Ronnie, Andre, Steve from the Gold Coast. Hold tight, and I see you all in the chat. We'll be back after this break.
Hazy sunshine in Chicago as temperatures climb near 60 on this Wednesday. May 13th, 2026. I'm Annette Flornoy, and in the headlines, some Chicago alderman wants answers from the mayor's office as to why it's taking so long to replace ShotSpotter. The Chicago Public Schools' financial woes have worsened. They're now facing a $732 million budget deficit. And health officials are now investigating a possible case of the Hunter virus here in Illinois. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 10 o'clock.
VIN News Now. Authorities have identified the teen killed at a post-prom party in Northwest Indiana. Like 17-year-old Javon Townsend of Michigan City was shot and later died at a hospital. His grandmother spoke to the press.
It hurts, but when it knocks at your door, it's a feeling that you just can't fathom.
Police are offering a $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Maryland's Black Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 250 bills into law at the State House. Key measures include the Utility Relief Act to lower energy costs. He also approved Mason's Law to upgrade dangerous storm drains. And C.J. Wallace, son of Biggie Smalls, has scored a legal win in a defamation case tied to false allegations by a former collaborator. A judge granted Wallace a default judgment after producer Jonathan Hay failed to respond to a lawsuit. Wallace accused Hay of spreading damaging claims involving him and Sean Diddy Combs. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's more with Terry McCready.
Australia says it's joining France and the UK's mission to help secure the Strait of Hormuz.
They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle.
President Trump commenting just days ago about the U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Australia's defense minister said the continent is joining a strictly defensive mission that's currently in place to secure shipping through the strait. Australia's announcement comes after Trump suspended Project Freedom, where the U.S. Navy was escorting ships through the strait. Trump has been critical of NATO allies for not helping to open the vital waterway. Florida's Black former Representative Sheila Sherfullis McCormick says she's planning a re-election bid as her legal troubles are mounting ahead of a criminal trial. The announcement comes as South Florida Democrats are pushing back against newly approved congressional redistricting maps to reshape political might in the region, including in the district where the seat is now open following McCormick's resignation. Governor Ron DeSantis emphasizing the Supreme Court ruled District 20 was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander.
We were going to have to redo this because of the racial gerrymandering that was done in southern Florida. And then look at the Florida map that the legislator passed. It's a beautiful, compact map. Very nice map.
But McCormick says she has never shied away from a fight. She stepped down just ahead of a congressional hearing tied to a House Ethics Committee investigation, which found numerous campaign finance and reporting violations, including allegations that McCormick stole millions in federal funds, steering money into her campaign. Sherfullis McCormick joined other Democrats at a recent meeting focused on fighting the new redistricting map approved by the Florida legislature and signed by DeSantis. A new poll shows the Democratic Party has more general support than the GOP ahead of the November midterms. The Atlas National poll centered on which political party's candidate respondents would support if the midterms were held today. According to the poll, 54.6% said they would support the Democratic candidate, while 41% indicated they favored the Republican, and 5.3% said they didn't know or would not vote at all. When looking at respondents' concerns, 49% named inflation and 41% named economy and jobs among the greatest challenges facing the U.S. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Black mothers face higher maternal health risks. Prenatal care, advocacy, and listening to your body can save lives.
Your health, our community, we're WVON.
Primary care that's completely you. OSF Complete Care 55 Plus is personalized primary care for adults 55 and older living with ongoing health conditions. Now accepting patients in Evergreen Park. OSFhealthcare.org/CC55.
It's a hot summer kickoff at Wind Creek Casino and Hotel, where you could win a share of $150,000 and a brand new Porsche Macan. Join our all-white summer prelude and win a share of over $15,000 in cash and free play every Friday. Then the grand finale starts May 23rd at 7 p.m. That's when one lucky guest will drive off in a sleek new Porsche, exclusively at the bigger, newer, hotter Wind Creek Casino and Hotel. Must be 21 years or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
It's Rufus Williams.
Mayor Brandon Johnson. I'm going to upset you right now, and I'm looking forward to a Cubs World Series.
That upsets Titus. Doesn't bother me, not at all. I'm from that space. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mayor.
Sorry, brother.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hello, Chicagoland. This is your main man, Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman. I'm inviting all of my friends, associates, and colleagues to tune in to WVON, the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM for the Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman Show. This show will cover all the hottest topics, including politics, reducing gun violence, and so much more, right here every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. Thank you.
This report is brought to you by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has the parts, tools, and accessories to keep your ride summer road trip ready. You'll find everything for pre-trip maintenance and essentials like emergency roadside kits. Shop summitracing.com and enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
WVON is proud to be an official radio partner for the Chicago Blues Festival, June 4th through the 7th at Millennium Park. We're bringing generations together, one blues riff at a time.
We gon' get your wine dang through the low night.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
I wrote these words for everyone who struggles and they use.
And we are back. The time is 10:08, and you're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And of course, it's Fired Up Wednesday. And we're having a conversation. We're revisiting, proms. I can't prophesize. However, from Friday to Wednesday, we've landed at helicopter. So I played back the clip from Funny Clip Friday to associate our understanding of the height of this conversation. I was just at a horse and carriage ride, and I thought that was over the top. And yet this mom in the city of Markham ordered a helicopter for her daughter on public property. Now, the Southlanders pay a steep price to live in the Southland. And yet nobody knew but the mom and the correspondents that signed in support of this from the Park District standpoint that this helicopter was coming to the city of Markham. I'm asking you all, what's over the top? When it comes to investing in our children, nothing is too much for my baby. Is that the sentiment here? I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee you, them Draper babies that would be Draper men, ain't no money talk here, boy. Because if you really got money, you ain't talking to it. You make money grow. It's not a flower. And, there's some plants you can talk to and make it grow. That's cute. I don't like that, right? And in my house, that wouldn't be a cultural thing. Now, it may seem cool maybe 16, 17 years from now, maybe, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't find it kosher because that's how you get robbed. See, from the school I come from, showing what you got entices folk. See, rich folk don't always look like they rich. Some of the more wealthiest ones got on everything run down. You better ask Bill Gates. They don't call and say, "Well, I'm a multi-millionaire." That was yesterday's foolishness. You ain't got to do all that. So for me, that is one thing that will never be accepted. I don't care what my son says. So that is a big no-no. However, are you willing to go above and beyond for your baby? And what does that look like? Does that look like you setting them up appropriately for the future? While everybody trying to pay rent, you gonna bless them with a house that's paid for? What are you gonna do differently? No, this mama said, my baby gonna get a helicopter. Now I want to hear from you all. I got one line open, so let's ignite the calls. Let's talk to Miss Lee. Miss Lee, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
How you doing, Cleopatra?
It's Fired Up Wednesday, Miss Lee.
All right, happy belated Mother's Day.
Likewise.
All right, what I wanted to say is, okay, no, lead by example. What she did was wrong. What the mother should have done was got permission to do what she did. Okay, you have to show your children that you just can't up and do anything. I don't care what kind of prom or whatever they're going to. You just can't say, well, I could do this, and I don't care about the what's gonna happen afterwards. No, you got to show the children right from the beginning. No, you got to do it the right way, or don't do it at all. That's what's wrong with children nowadays. They think that they should just, well, mama did it, so I'm going to do it. No, you lead by example. Show your children the right way to do things, and then they would be better off. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. I love that message. Let's talk to Deborah. Deborah, welcome to WVON. Deborah.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
Okay. So I'm going to be piggybacking on what everybody else said. I think parents should do whatever they want to do with their children. That's fine. But I think you said she was in office or something. She held the position.
She's the executive director of the Park District in the city of Markham.
Okay. So the first thing I pray is that her daughter was at least at a 4.0. Deserved it and everything. But what I want to know, what I would pray also, is that this woman spent every penny out of her own pocket, because they coming after her, period. Only because we know what it is. We always pull out the race card. They're coming after her.
I shared the attorney. Bert Odelson already has the petition drafted.
Yes, I heard that. And I'm like, and they're going to find something. The other thing, I think these proms are completely out of control. You put the clothes on, you take the picture, and you go on and have a good time. And with us, it was go to Great America the next morning and come on back home, and that was it. But, yeah, my only prayer is that she's covered, that she can show every penny she spent was her penny, no one else's.
Excellent. Okay, I appreciate it, Ms. Deborah. Let's talk to Frank. Frank, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
You know what? Your number one fan, Bolingbrook here. I'm anti-prom. I did not attend my prom, and I couldn't have afforded to. But it's a day where a lot of young girls lose their virginity. It becomes a sex thing at some point for those individuals that do not have morals and values. Those young people that do not have morals and values. As far as the lady with the helicopter, I wonder where that money came from. I mean, could she actually afford that? Or I don't know if I missed that part or not. But you got to think, I mean, does she have life insurance policies for her children if something happens to them? Is there funds set up for college, or what is that young lady's future? Is she college bound, or I always say that the parents should be celebrated, because the children, the parents, we provide the food and the shelter for the children. We should be celebrated at graduation time. We should be giving the roses and the flowers. we should be given a helicopter and everything else because we provided, we decided to help children, but we also provided the resources for them to succeed and be successful in school. So I can never understand why parents are not celebrated when their child graduates from college and high school because we're providing all the resources. They're not providing the resources; they don't have it. So I'm trying to think. It's out of whack, and there's no heliports as far as I know. And what town is this, Markham?
Yes.
There's no heliports around. I mean, what is helicopter land on top of the roof?
Right. It landed on the Park District grounds, to your point.
On the Park District.
Absolutely. Okay. So there is no heliport.
That's a lawsuit right there. I mean, she broke all kinds of laws doing that. And also the helicopter company that she rented the helicopter from, they should be held liable as well because there should be permits pulled to even have that thing landed.
Correct.
So that they could be sued. I don't know what the town of Markham was going to do, but
they good call. So every point that Frank just brought up, as we're critically thinking this through, my concern is the executive director of the Park District, again, didn't see anything wrong with this. And then was further supported by the president of the board, who did not see anything wrong with this. And yet, as you all are examining, but you're in leadership. Now, this is not a duly elected role. And yet, in duly elected role, we tend to send worse, folk that don't critically think. So there's no helipad for the helicopter to land. Yet you will put it on the premier of the grass while people are in the public sphere, utilizing the park that you all pay this high price for in terms of your property taxes. And you didn't see anything wrong. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, I've tangled with Bert. Bert Olderson is one of the most brilliant minds behind electoral politics in terms of the electoral legal representation. And I've had my fun, and so has he. But he ain't no punk. Already drafted the petition, showed it for the camera to see. They're not playing with this mother. But I need for us to stop playing with these roles. It goes both ways. So as we're critically examining the mother and what we should and shouldn't do and what's too much, who do you have representing you in said roles? And is it the best of the best? Is it our best and brightest? You can look to the top of the ticket and see what's going on in the people's house, the White House, or you can sweep right around your own front porch. Now, one thing about it, Mayor Powell will be with me Friday, and I respect his leadership. And he said, hold on, public safety, this is egregious. He vehemently disagrees and agrees that this was wrong. When we come back, Terrence, Cheryl, Ronnie, Andre, Steve from the Gold Coast, I see you on the live line. And A.E. Cavan says in the chat, a helicopter is ridiculous. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just too much. Shaking my head. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region and, more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work, because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/meetingthemoment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
It's clear that kidney disease is taking its toll on us by the number of dialysis centers in our neighborhoods. If you have kidney disease, know your treatment options and the benefits of home dialysis and transplantation. Visit blackcare.com. That's BLACKKARE.com. This health and wellness message is brought to you by the South Suburban Chicago chapter of the Links Incorporated, empowered by Vantive. Consider giving the gift of life by becoming a donor today. Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
Video gambling terminals aren't owned by us. They're owned by out-of-state corporations that have
More
never
from
invested in our
Cleopatra.
neighborhoods or our families. They take the money, we take the hit. These machines kill union jobs and drain pension funds for first responders. When these machines move in, crime goes up, break-ins rise. Our community pays the price. We deserve good union jobs, safer streets, and real investments that stay here and build something lasting. Tell City Council, repeal video gambling terminals. Paid for by Neighborhoods Safety First Association.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No major changes in your travel times. Things are still pretty nice and light on the expressways. We are, though, tracking accident on the outbound side of the Stevenson right now in California. And if you're headed downtown, know that Upper Wacker Drive right now is closed between Jackson and Van Buren. That's due to some fire department activity. That's all we know for now. Taking a look at your weather, we're seeing some hazy sunshine. The National Weather Service says we're going to cap out somewhere at around 60 degrees. We're up to 55 at Midway, bumped up to 56 in Kenwood, and it's 56 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:23. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Is that an anthem? That's a 20-plus year song. And if you really, just for a little bit, dig hip-hop, and you really about hip-hop, you listen to the lyrics. I ain't got no job, but I stay sharp. Can't pay my rent and all my money spent, but that's okay, because I'm still fly. I got everything in my mama name. I laugh because, woo, it's some truth up in now. And as we're talking about, in conclusion, prom and helicopters, I'm going to do a lightning round. I got a few lines open. And I definitely got to switch gears, but it's something to this. and I'm speaking to the culture. Let's talk to Ronnie. Ronnie, welcome to WVON.
Hi, Cleopatra. How are you?
I'm in good spirits. It's Fired Up Wednesday.
Well, thanks for being a strong, positive Black woman. I am so proud of you.
Oh, thank
Keep
you.
doing what you do. Now, this helicopter thing. I don't fault the parents for doing something for their children. I'm sure it was a good memory. But invest in the kind of memories that create character. Like when my dad rescued me from my basement in his boxer shorts when it flooded. Or when my mom fed me chicken noodle soup when I was sick. Those are the kind of memories that create character. And that's what we should be invested in.
Excellent call, Ronnie. I really appreciate that. Let's talk to Andre. Andre, welcome to WVON.
Hey, good morning to you, Ms. Cleopatra. Thank you for having me. So let's get with this helicopter. So a close friend of mine's daughter's husband had brought their son this year for the graduation $1,000 pair of gym shoes, right? And when I graduated from high school, I graduated from Inglewood High School. When I graduated from Inglewood High School, my daddy wanted to get me 3 suits. They were on sale, but I say, no, I want this one suit. Now, one suit cost more than 3 of them put together, but he done it for me. He was mad about it, but he still done it for me. So what I see with this helicopter, parents hold a lot of guilt. And this is what I call make-up parenting, where you have some parents that wasn't able to do things for their children when they were born, and their kids kind of suffered. So they do these things to kind of make up for their absence, or make up for their negligence, or make up for some of the things they may have done or may not have done. And for them, there's no price on that. All they want to do is just make amends. So it might seem over the top for some, but for some, it wasn't enough. Because when you're guilty as a parent, you want to do some make-up parenting and say, well, I'm going to do something for my kid because I wasn't there for them. And people do it, and people struggle with their kids when they get rich and famous. They do a lot of good things for their kids. So I say it's an issue of make-up parenting. That's what I want to say, Ms. Cleopatra.
Oh, thank you. Excellent call. Excellent call, Andre. Listen, I got to read Tyra's comment. Tyra said, girl, bye. You putting people in danger. I don't care what you do for your kid. Just because you are in the position to have access to the park don't mean you can aircraft on the ground. She should lose her position for this stunt and personal misuse of position. Just ridiculous. What do you all say to Tyra? Tyra, I hope I gave life to your comment. Let's talk to Terrence. Terrence, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, good morning, Cleopatra. Good morning from BC, Canada. World conditions have changed over the last 30 years. You just look what's going on with this. You just was talking about this last week, this outrageous stuff people are doing. I mean, but how about the stories that we never heard of? You understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, absolutely.
From? Mm-hmm. And, nothing tops the biggest story that I heard. Remember the lady or the celebrity couple who bought the $30,000 or the $50,000 baby stroller for their kids? You remember that?
No, that's outlandish.
Yeah. This is about maybe 10 years ago. Well, hey, that's all I had to say, okay?
I appreciate it. Now you're gonna make me do some homework. We're gonna do a story, and I'm gonna tell Sonya. We're gonna do a story about some of the most outlandish gifts for children. Let's talk to Steve from the Gold Coast. Steve, welcome to WVON.
Yes, well, a lot of people have already made the same point that I was trying to make. And I'll just elaborate by saying that, stop trying to keep up with the musts of the world. My brother lives on the North Shore of Lake Forest. I mean, they bought a $1.7 million home 4 years ago, and nobody in that community has ever done anything like that. And within 2 blocks of his home, there are $5, $10, $15 million estates near the lake. I mean, it says something that the people who have money don't do certain things, and the people who have the least amount of it and who shouldn't be wasting it do things like this. And it's about this notion of keeping up with the Joneses, the perception that everybody's doing something like this and they're not. And what is the alternative? Where else could the money have gone? What else could you have done with it? My girlfriend's a wedding planner, and she's amazed at the number of middle class and upper middle class people who are having $150,000, $250,000 weddings today. Why? Because everybody else in their class is also doing that sort of thing. So they're of the perception that, we need to do it. It has just gotten out of hand. I have a good friend who made a lot of money By starting in the automobile industry, selling cars, he moved into a small single owner shop where they sell 5 to 10, 15-year-old luxury cars, BMWs, Lexus, Audi, and so forth. That's where he made a ton of his money. Selling to people who don't have very good credit, are willing to pay an astronomical amount on a monthly car note, and are willing to have it for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, when the car isn't even worth anything by the time you paid it off. Also that they can drive around in their community in a luxury German car or Japanese car.
Well, thank you, Steve. I agree with you. Listen, guys, I'm up against a break. When we come back, Cheryl, I see you on the live line, and we're going to switch gears. We have to go to Selma. There's something happening in Selma, and you don't want to miss this.
Hazy sunshine, temperatures climbing near 60. Good morning, I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. The Chicago Public Schools' financial woes have worsened. They're now facing a $732 million budget deficit. This comes at a time when there's lower enrollment, and according to reports, to fix it, teaching positions may end up on the chopping block. Later this morning, the city's Board of Education is set to call on state lawmakers for help. The school board must approve a balanced spending plan by August 29th. Several Chicago aldermen are questioning Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration as to why it's taking them so long to replace ShotSpotter. Perry Williams reports.
23rd Ward Alderwoman Silvana Tabares says the city's not moving fast enough in the vetting of 9 companies with bids.
A man was shot and killed in my ward on Thanksgiving night in Garfield Ridge neighborhood. His body laid in the street for 10 minutes. Because no one called 911.
Mayor Johnson says he wants to make sure that they're thorough in the vetting process to make sure the technology they do select is extremely effective in addressing violent crime in the city. I'm Perry Williams.
And now that those so-called predatory payday loan companies are virtually a thing of the past, according to a new Woodstock report, folks are much better off. This morning, in an exclusive WVON interview with Rufus Williams, Karen Freeman Wilson, president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, says Illinois residents have actually saved more than $1 billion under the new lending guidelines.
Prior to the payday lenders leaving, they were borrowing, folks were borrowing $1 billion and paying exorbitant interest rates up to 400%. Now they're borrowing $1.4 billion, but the interest rate is capped at 36%. That's good news. That's a win. That's more money in people's pockets.
She also talked about the impact of recent cuts to the SNAP supplemental food program, calling the cuts a war on poor people.
Is poor, working class, anyone who needs assistance. And it comes as a result of something that they had the audacity to call the big, beautiful bill. And so, it is a problem. It is something that we have to continuously fight against.
The state of Illinois estimates that about 120,000 people could lose their benefits. Well, a prom stunt in South Suburban Markham is causing some controversy. Quatina Brown, who is the chief of the local park district, paid for a helicopter to land for her daughter and to be a backdrop for a prom photo.
And she was graduating, and this was going to be a memorable experience. I just wanted to be able to provide that for her. I didn't think that it was going to blow up as much as it did.
Authorities did shut down the May 8th event, calling it a safety hazard. Police did hand out tickets to Brown and the helicopter pilot. Now the village of Markham is also considering additional legal actions. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVO News Time, 10:33.
The OPC is more than a presidential center. It's where history meets hope. In June, witness history being made. We're WVON.
This is a story about money. Don't let them fool you otherwise. Steppenwolf Theater presents Windfall by the Academy Award-winning writer of Moonlight, Terrell Allen McCraney. When a Chicago father is offered a cash settlement for the loss of his child, everyone is entitled to an opinion. The ghost of his past, the strangers on his porch, and the in-the-round audience who envelops him. The Chicago Sun-Times says, Windfall finds the sustaining power of music and family. Windfall is directed by Awoye Tempo and is on stage now through May 31st. Tickets at steppenwolf.org. That's steppenwolf.org.
When your body needs real nourishment, don't settle for ordinary supplements. At the Aloe Shop, we believe wellness starts with nature. That's why our premium aloe and nutritional products are crafted with the highest standards, pure, potent, and made to support your health from the inside out. From digestion and energy to immune support, the Aloe Shop helps you feel your best every day. The Aloe Shop at 117 East 95th Street in Chicago. Call 866-256-3747. Or reach us online at thealoeshop.com. Come on in and get healthy. Now available at Living Fresh Market in Forest Park and at Pete's Market throughout Chicagoland.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way. A ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Living in the hood is not a curse, it's an opportunity. It's your block, your opportunity, and our movement. Join me, Dr. Roe Davis, every Saturday on WVN 1690 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I help renters become homeowners and homeowners become investors. That's every Saturday on WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes. Installation is easy. And they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Still nice and light on most of the expressways. There are no major problems to report except for the outbound side of the Bishop Ford. You want to look out for an accident involving a semi versus another semi. Right now at 159th Street, both shoulders are blocked. Also, as you make your way downtown, Upper Wacker Drive is shut down between Jackson and Van Buren. That's due to some police and some fire department activity. All we know at this time, but we'll continue to track that situation. Taking a look at our weather, a little hazy sunshine for you, a few clouds from time to time. The National Weather Service says we're going to hit a daytime high of only around 60. Tonight, temperature is going to level off at around 44. Right now, we're still at 55 at Midway. It's 56 in Riverdale and 56 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Enna Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Ready to make it.
And we are back. The time is 10:38, and you're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Listen, guys, as we switched gears, all roads lead to the South. It is trending across all social media networks, across the news networks, across the papers, depending who's writing the papers. But one thing about it, it is our responsibility here at WVON to make it trend here. And you're listening to it on the TCS right now. Thousands will gather in Selma and Montgomery, Alabama this weekend to protest against the attacks on voting rights spreading across the South. This campaign is getting a lot of attention, and it is called All Roads Lead to the South. And I've done exclusive coverage when it comes to ancestry. I'm the proud descendant of great migrators. And many of us here in the city of Chicago are too. Some of you all roots range from Mississippi to Texas to Alabama and throughout the South, Louisiana, and other places. From Alabama, Wetumpka, Alabama is where my maternal grandfather is from. Wetumpka. So all roads lead to the South. And I'm excited because Saturday, a national coalition of over 90 civil and voting rights, faith, labor, and community organizations will rally for a national day of action. On the live line is Pastor Mike McBride. He is a participant and is organizing, and he organizes with Live Free. Now, we talk to Live Free right here in Illinois, and we get to talk to Pastor McBride. He has been a frequent contributor with the New York Times, the Washington Post, MS Now, CNN, the Huffington Post, and many other entities. And now he can add to the list WVON. Welcome to the Cleopatra Show, Pastor.
What a blessing to be here with you, Sister Cleopatra. And hello, good morning, Chicago.
Thank you for joining us because, you know, as I share from Wetumpka, Alabama, I got some roots there. And when I tell folk, it tickles me pink, especially when I can meet some folk that know about little old Wetumpka. But yet and still, I am in love with the campaign name, All Roads Lead to the South. How do we land there?
Well, what we understood is that as the South goes, so goes the nation. I think W.E.B. Du Bois said that first in the early 1900s. And it is clear to us that the largest number of Black folks live in the South in the country, concentrated between North Carolina all the way contiguous states through Texas. The kind of tyrannical rule of the Republican Party over the lives and futures of Black folks in the South has depended on minority rule by twisting, breaking, dare I even say violating what is ethical when it comes to not just the right to vote, but the right to representation. And so this assault on the Voting Rights Act will have a disproportionate impact for our loved ones in the South. And we don't want our family members and relatives who still live in the South to feel abandoned, forgotten, or erased. All roads lead to the South, whether you're going in person, whether you are doing satellite events in your local cities. Our hearts, our minds, our focus are leading to the South.
And I appreciate the rich energy in this moment. So let's talk about the 13 colonies. I mean, the states, Pat. You know, because if we gonna go all the way back, you might as well go back to whence we came. Territory,
yes,
right? You all are going to a terrain that is very familiarly steeped in systemic and structural racism. Anytime when we want to raise the banners of not only the dead Confederate soldiers and generals, but the losing dead Confederate soldiers and generals, speaks volume to how thirsty one must be to go back into time. So talk to us about this time that is just so destitute and so has this gravitational pull in this moment right now, particularly in white culture.
Well, it is distressing to know my father, the McBride side of my family, is actually from Goldsboro, North Carolina. So although I live in Oakland, the Bay Area, I, just like you and so many others, have relatives and family members who still live in Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. And so our task is to not forget from whence we came. This grievance, this spirit of fragility that has overtaken the segments of the white American populace in the aftermath of Barack Obama's election and the rise of Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again movement has moved from just rhetoric to now maintaining and grabbing structural and state power. There is obviously lots of angst within segments of the white power structure of this country that the demographics are now moving towards a people of color majority country. And so all of this, we believe, is adding up to what many of them believe is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was written in the Project 2025 document that was published on the internet by many of the propagators of this movement to try and dismantle the civil rights gains of the 1950s and 60s, led by freedom movements, civil rights movements, faith leaders, young people, and attempt to start by limiting our power to voting and representation. And so this grievance must be defeated. Similar to John Lewis and the SNCC loved ones and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer, we now must take up this mantle. There is unfinished business for our generation, and we will not let our ancestors nor our people, and dare I even say the future of this country, down. We will defeat the grievance nonviolently, and we will maintain and reclaim the power of the people through representation and certainly through democratic participation.
And, you know, the number one question, and we can save this when we come back from break, is how? You know, and I want you to let that marinate, because what I'm going to pivot to is the No Kings protest, right? Massive turnout. We've had 3 thus far. And your president, Donald John Trump, approval ratings is historically the lowest in modern history. It's lower than the second lowest notation in modern history, which was also Donald Trump. And yet, as we chip towards to the midterms in November, the grab for power is real. How, when the Democratic Party is not in power? How, when, you know, we have wickedness in high places, the Epstein rape island, and the victims are talking? And I've said it before, Jeffrey Epstein is the deadest talkative man down my timeline, Pastor. How? See what I'm saying? So ultimately,
yes,
I am watching folks defy gravity at this point. But is Lucifer bound to gravity? Answer me when we come back. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Chicago officially has the worst traffic in the country. Get out of gridlock with Metra. With our 95% on-time rate, we eliminate the stress of driving and get you where you're going quickly, comfortably, and safely. Metra. Drive less. Do more.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Bond TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Bond TV. It's cultural content on purpose.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum. From cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
We're headed back on the outbound side of the Bishop Ford, where that accident at 159th Street right now has two semis blocking the shoulders on both sides. Right now, that accident is happening right smack dab in the middle of construction zone. And if that wasn't worse, the outbound Bishop Ford also dealing with a stall vehicle. It's on the right shoulder at 130th Street. Luckily, not affecting your travel times too much. Traffic pretty light. Taking a look at our weather, hazy sunshine for you. Temperatures topping out in the 60s, right around 60 degrees, making it for a mild day in Chicago. Temperatures tonight dipping down to 44. Still hovering in the mid-50s. It's 55 at O'Hare, 56 in Washington Park, and 56 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. The time is 10:52. And I asked the pastor, that's right, Pastor Mike McBride is on the live line with us. And he's participating with his organization called Live Free. And they are coming to Selma. And some will be in Montgomery, Alabama for a National Day of Action. And this call is rallying the troops of about 90 civil and voting rights, faith, labor, and community organizations to really ignite all roads leading to the South. And the $1 million question that I have for Pastor McBride is, how do we fight back? How do we get a call and response when we, and I am saying we, to uniformly identify us against the Republican Party, the Grand Old Party. So whether it's Democrat, Independents, everybody else but Republicans that are leading this charge, who have the power in both the Senate and the House and the Oval Office and the Supreme Court, until something shakes loose differently in November. Right now, we're lame ducks. How do we, in this moment, make this happen? And I was asking you, this gravitational pull that has white America, that is saying, hey, this is your time, strike while the iron is hot, is either now or never. Is there a gravitational pull when it comes to Lucifer too, or does he hold no bars?
Well, as a follower of Jesus, I will definitely always side with we who stand for love, peace, and justice. I think Lucifer, Beelzebub, devil, whatever you want to call him, never has more gravity, gravitas, or appeal. The arc of the universe, as Dr. King says, bends towards justice. Our job is to grab that arc and make it bend faster. And so what do? 3 things. We organize, we vote, and then we legislate. Let me just say quickly what I mean by that. Organizing is the power building strategy to not only gather our people, but to gather our colleagues, our allies, people who have shared interests. There are a significant number of white Americans who disagree, who are literally defecting from this particular political project. We must organize them into this power building movement for justice and inclusion. There are a number of Latino and Asian and other groups that are feeling the similar pinch of a failed economy, of a war economy that is literally causing gas prices to jump up and energy prices to jump up. We must organize all of these loved ones into a winning justice coalition. And that just means every day you wake up, we must be on the lookout for loved ones, family members, co-workers, neighbors, and friends, and make sure they are clear that there is room at the cross for them. Our movement, though led by Black folks, must be a multiracial, multi-faith, multi-issue coalition that does not allow progress to happen without the lives, the fortunes, and the futures of Black people included. So organizing, voting. We must have the largest voter registration campaign in history. We must get our voting numbers up to 80, 90%. Right now, they're at around 60%. 60% of eligible voters vote in the elections. We must jump that number up to 80, 90% and overwhelm the system, overwhelm the ballot box. The Republicans can only win when they are successfully getting the least amount of people to vote and then legislate. When we get power, we must legislate in a way that literally weakens the power and the machinations, the schemes of this right-wing entrenched political project. And so organizing, voting, and legislating, those are the three-pronged, in my opinion, steps. That means everybody has a role. Everybody has a role, and we must enact that role at the same time.
I stand in solidarity with you. I am ignited in a special way for us to revisit our roots from the South, to remind the South it is the soil, and in that soil it is the blood, and that blood is strong.
Yes.
And it has fertilized
Yes.
the land in which they have remained tenants upon. And that land that they sit upon, graveyards. Every other day, Pastor, I'm reading stories of unmarked graveyards of our ancestors, many of whom were children, abused, discarded, and used through chattel slavery. So at the end of the day, the roosters are going to come home to roost. It's undeniable. And as soon as America stops running from an opportunity to atone, the faster we can get to the atonement and the land can heal. But I believe that when these roads collide, are we prepared? That is a question that I think we have yet to foresee, but I believe in preparation as an organizer myself. I agree with you. Now is the time to ignite. So in the event that we can't get there, what can we do?
Well, I think we must do what we've always done, is we must take care of our families, steward creation, take care of the environment, the plots of the earth that God has placed in our hands to grow food, to raise our families. I think we must never give up on the possibility of a future that is better and greater than the past we have inherited. We must not lose hope, but not allow hope to paralyze us and to free us from activity, from action, from agency. All Roads Lead to the South is a magnificent response. We have over 200 partners now that have signed up to join us. We have 100 buses coming from over 8 or 9 states. We have 10 different states that are engaging in satellite activity, all because there are people who are rising to the occasion. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense says that sometimes the moment will organize the people. And so as this moment is activating us, may we lock arms together. May we remember that we are more than conquerors. The faith that we have, the God that gives us this faith, is more than the world against us. And there are always more people who love freedom and justice than those who do not. So we must rally ourselves together. We must take care of one another. We must fight for freedom, love, joy, justice, and peace. And we must believe that our efforts, but trust by our ancestors and fueled by our faith, will always get us over to victory side.
Well, I thank you, Pastor Mike McBride, for all that you're doing. I hope that the travels are covered and blessed and that we are victorious in this moment. All roads leading to the South. We will continue this coverage exclusively on the Cleopatra Show. And please send my best to Selma. I can't wait one day to walk across that
Yes,
the
Edmund
Edmund
Pettus
Pettus Bridge. But for now, you
Yes.
walk for me, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll do. God bless everybody.
Listen, guys, we'll be back after this break.
Hazy skies as temperatures climb near 60 on this Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. I'm in Flournoy, and in the headlines, according to a new report, 8% of people on electronic monitoring in Cook County are AWOL. Some Chicago aldermen wants answers from the mayor's office as to why it's taking so long to replace ShotSpotter. And the Chicago Public Schools' financial woes have worsened. They're now facing a $732 million budget deficit. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app and 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11 o'clock.
VIN News Now. Authorities have identified the teen killed at a post-prom party in Northwest Indiana. Like 17-year-old Javon Townsend of Michigan City was shot and later died at a hospital. His grandmother spoke to the press.
It hurts, but when it knocks at your door, it's a feeling that you just can't fathom.
Police are offering a $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Maryland's Black Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 250 bills into law at the State House. Key measures include the Utility Relief Act to lower energy costs. He also approved Mason's Law to upgrade dangerous storm drains. And C.J. Wallace, son of Biggie Smalls, has scored a legal win in a defamation case tied to false allegations by a former collaborator. A judge granted Wallace a default judgment after producer Jonathan Hay failed to respond to a lawsuit. Wallace accused Hay of spreading damaging claims involving him and Sean Diddy Combs. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's more with Terry McCready.
Australia says it's joining France and the UK's mission to help secure the Strait of Hormuz.
They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle.
President Trump commenting just days ago about the U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Australia's defense minister said the continent is joining a strictly defensive mission that's currently in place to secure shipping through the strait. Australia's announcement comes after Trump suspended Project Freedom, where the U.S. Navy was escorting ships through the strait. Trump has been critical of NATO allies for not helping to open the vital waterway. Florida's Black former Representative Sheila Sherfless McCormick says she's planning a re-election bid as her legal troubles are mounting ahead of a criminal trial. The announcement comes as South Florida Democrats are pushing back against newly approved congressional redistricting maps to reshape political might in the region, including in the district where the seat is now open following McCormick's resignation. Governor Ron DeSantis emphasizing the Supreme Court ruled District 20 was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander.
We were going to have to redo this because of the racial gerrymandering that was done in southern Florida. And then look at the Florida map that the legislator passed. It's a beautiful, compact map. Very nice map.
But McCormick says she has never shied away from a fight. She stepped down just ahead of a congressional hearing tied to a House Ethics Committee investigation, which found numerous campaign finance and reporting violations, including allegations that McCormick stole millions in federal funds, steering money into her campaign. Sherfless McCormick joined other Democrats at a recent meeting focused on fighting the new redistricting map approved by the Florida legislature and signed by DeSantis. A new poll shows the Democratic Party has more general support than the GOP ahead of the November midterms. The Atlas National poll centered on which political party's candidate respondents would support if the midterms were held today. According to the poll, 54.6% said they would support the Democratic candidate, while 41% indicated they favored the Republican, and 5.3% said they didn't know or would not vote at all. When looking at respondents' concerns, 49% named inflation and 41% named economy and jobs among the greatest challenges facing the U.S. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Heart disease remains one of the leading causes of death in Black Americans. Move your body, watch your sodium, and make your heart a priority.
Your health, our community, we're WVON.
With your help, the Illinois Lottery generated $784 million for education last year. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds are available at IllinoisLottery.com.
Heart disease remains one of the leading health concerns in our communities. Eating healthier, staying active, and managing stress can help keep your heart strong. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by the South Suburban Chicago, Illinois chapter of the Lynx Incorporated and Vantive.
Hey fam, what does a healed Chicago look like? For a lot of us, healing has to include reparations for those in power to make amends for the centuries of harm committed against Black people in this country. We deserve a city that invests in us, and we have the power to build it. Join us Saturday, May 30th at the Big Payback People's Assembly with equity and transformation and the movement for Black lives, where we'll be digging into the real questions. What do reparations look like in our communities? And how do we organize to win what we are owed? Come be a part of it on Saturday, May 30th, 11 a.m. at Alt Space, located at 5645 West Corcoran Place. We'll have food, childcare, and real community connection. We built this country. It's time for a full accounting. Let's take back what's ours. Register today at peoplespower.info. That's peoplespower.info. We'll see you there.
You gotta get ready for the big payback. The big payback.
This May, Von TV brings culture to life. See For the Cause. It's a gripping drama where a rising civil rights attorney takes on the case of a father she barely knows, a former Black Panther with a past that refuses to stay buried.
On the night Mariah was born, while I was in the hospital, the police raided the house I stayed in. With no warrants, they came in and shot up the place. When they were done, 2 of my comrades were dead, 4 injured. If I hadn't gone into labor, it's very possible my life would have ended that night.
And if you missed Von TV's Friday night of premieres, don't worry. There's still time to catch original series, films, and voices that move the culture forward. Watch Von TV anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at Von.tv. Von TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church, tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Facing production swings or tough skill gaps, Workforce Solutions from Express Employment Professionals make hiring easier. Find your local office and see how Express can help you hire smarter and faster for contract and full-time jobs. Visit ExpressPros.com.
The Chicago Blues Festival is more than a festival. It's a celebration of culture, rhythm, and legacy. We'll see you in Millennium Park June 4th through the 7th. We're WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you with you. You'll be my American boy.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. The time is 11:09. Who wants to be my American boy? I ain't wanted a boy and I don't know how long. You can be my American man, but I got a husband. But you can be my British black man. Let's go. Let's go. I'm doing a segment about that on Friday. You all don't want to miss it. The things that come out of our head on the TCS show is just on a whole nother creative funk. It's a whole nother level. Now, getting back to the roots, all roads lead to the South. Does it stir something in you? Now, I got some Eudoran roots, good old Arkansas. Wetumpka, good old Alabama. And I know all that's listening to me to and through some Mississippi. For I got an auntie right now in Mississippi. North Carolina, my children, my husband's side. Pittsburgh, my mama. All roads lead into the South. When you asked for war, did you see the revolution coming? See, this is war. I keep saying when war is being declared, this is not the card game. Remember the card game, I declare war. You don't announce war is coming. You just bring the raft. But did you know that you was going to meet the raft? See, uprising the 13 colonies, was this smart? I like intelligent conversation, intelligent folk. And I have the most astute listening audience in the world. So I'm asking you all strategically. Now, from a high point, when you think you got your eye on the prey, yes. If you're the opposing side and you vehemently want to institute white power, white rule, and you see an opportunity in your colonial spirit to seize it. So you're just going to take it, whether it's legal or not, whether you can institute gerrymandering, whether we can do the census midpoint. All of this is just out of whack. You don't need congressional approval. You don't need to do. I mean, we just moving the goalposts left and right. What game we playing? It ain't even on the shelf, okay? Because it's in a colonial spirit. Colonization is a whole nother level of just out the box. So you just gonna take it, huh? Rape, rob, and pillage. That is the sport. Because it's so unfamiliar to those of us that have the least of these, when you see it in real time, are you recognizing it? So enacting the 13 colonies, now states, these territories, it has a colonizational attribute to it because they are seizing and taking what they declared to be power. Now, you heard Pastor McBride. We are at about a 65, not even 70% turnout in vote, and we need to get to 80, 90. In totality, you would think 100%, but that's a utopia. So in that 80, 90 percentile, there's a margin of error, but it leaves a small window of chance. Will this wake up the Black folk in the South that have not voted? The fact that I have cousins in the South that don't vote is a whole nother conversation. So I'm not alone. I got cousins up here that don't vote. And these are blood cousins, okay? Not my distant cousins that are listening to me. So in other words, we all have somebody that is in our proximity that does not vote. And even in this climate, particularly living in the South, how can you not? But what's so different between the South and the North? We will revisit that concept. The phone lines are yours. 773-591-1690. Pianki, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
I welcome Pastor Brian to come on down here in the South. We got gumbo and crawfish and idling, what they can feast on. But you come down here with that Yankee stuff, we're going to run you right back up north. See, the thing that he makes a mistake, we got black MAGA down here in the South, especially in Louisiana. We are just the test of a 235-mile long Congressional District 6 that runs from New Orleans to Shreveport, that interweaves in and out of parishes that y'all call counties, and grabbing black households. You know why the blacks live in those districts, those parishes? Because that's where they want to live. I end up being in Cleo Field's district, and I don't want to be represented by Cleo Field. And this stuff, because black skin is supposed to vote in certain ways, is ridiculous. So come on down here.
Can I ask
Those
you?
13 colonies.
Can I ask you this?
Those 13. I'm almost done.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Go
Those
ahead.
13 colonies are sovereign countries. They have their own government. They have their own tax-based business commodities, and they have their own militia or military. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. Because it's ironic you bring up your congressman. I'll actually be with him Saturday. So educate.
Oh, I already know.
No. You didn't know. I didn't even share it with my listening audience. So I'm announcing it now.
I knew he was going to be down here.
Right. So I said I'm going to be
know.
with him Saturday. I hadn't shared that, but I'm sharing it now because it's ironic you bring him up. Now, what I wanted to ask you, when you say that Yankee stuff, revisit for our listening audience what that terminology means, and then give us a outlook to what it means to be Black MAGA. Do you identify as a Black MAGAN?
Oh, absolutely. We not only their feelings to make America great is a slogan that we live with. We can live with that. You know, they had a parish down here in Ascension Parish called St. George. It wasn't Ascension. It was in Baton Rouge East. They seceded from Baton Rouge to form their own town. And it also had a black population that was interviewed as they came out of the Walmart store. And blacks said they wanted to secede from Baton Rouge. They gave 3 reasons: education, infrastructure, and crime. And they tried to make it be like it was racial. It wasn't. The blacks in Baton Rouge, in St. George, wanted to form their own town, and they just had on the ballot to form their own school district. It's different. Everybody's not the same.
So can I ask you this? When you say you are absolutely a Black MAGAN, what about making America great? What does it mean to you?
Well, making America great is when we become a preeminent on the world. We can impose tariffs in order to make it possible for American business to be able to operate on a fair trade level rather than open trade the way it's been. To control immigration into this country. We want legal immigration. And those that immigrate to the United States should come in to add, like the great Congresswoman in Texas, Barbara Jordan, said, immigration is not a privilege. It's not a right, said. It's a privilege. And those that immigrate to the United States should come to add to it, not take away.
And then lastly, and I thank you for even indulging me. What's your sentiment, honestly, on your president, Donald Trump?
Oh, I think he's a great president.
You think he's great? And what
right
about
now,
him? What about him? What about it is great? Help us understand that.
Well, business-wise, let me say this. When one of my professions was commercial construction.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, when you were putting up the Sears Tower in Chicago, I worked on that tower. And then I went out to Schaumburg to build a community center that was out there and other structures up in Detroit. One thing that a business that use expensive equipment, Donald Trump made it so that you can expense that equipment through deduction in 1 year rather than what the Democrats had. It took you over 20 years. That way you can put the money back to work buying new equipment and putting people to work.
Excellent point from your perspective. So, as I take it, are you a civil engineer or are you a tradesman?
I was a structural steel erector.
So
I erected structure steel,
okay,
structure,
so
bridges, and
okay.
multi-story buildings.
So where were you formally educated?
I'm from Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here to Louisiana when my grandson, my last sibling, decided to go to LSU for engineering, and his favorite pastime is baseball.
And where did you go to school, or are you just in the trade?
No, I went to school.
What
That
school?
was a long time ago. It's too hard. It's too difficult to even remember all of these.
Oh, no worries.
Ins and outs.
I asked that because as a man with your background, I have to ask you your take on tariffs. If you say that your president Donald Trump is great and he's been good for business, what was your response on the blowback that he got from the tariff standpoint that he took? Did you agree
Well,
with
I
him?
think it's going to be temporary. I I like tariffs. Let me give you an example. There's a steel company in down south from you in Granite City, Illinois. Granite City Steel restarted up 2 units based on the tariffs that Donald Trump put on Russian plate steel. U.S. Steel said themselves that now that we have this parity with tariffs, we're able to start this back up and put people back to work. They're in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, which is about 80% black. Hyundai automobile manufacturers agreed to build a steel plant because it's more feasible and economical possible for them to build a steel plant there in Louisiana than try to build their steel in South Korea and then try to face the terrorists bringing the steel into the United States.
Bianchi, I find you to be. I have to pause for a break. I find you to be so intriguing. Can you hold? Because I want to respond back to you with some of your standpoints. But for the tariff standpoint, you sound like a well-versed, well-traveled man. And I appreciate your standpoints. And when we come back, I would like to respond to you about some of this. Are you okay with that?
Oh, sure. Come on. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Hold tight. Listen, guys, I got a unicorn on a live line with me straight out of Louisiana who's a black maggot. When we return, I am going to respond to his standpoint on tariffs and the fact that he stands firm that his president, Donald Trump, is doing a great job. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Need a reason to visit Wind Creek Casino and Hotel? Well, here's 2,200 of them. Right now, new players get a welcome package valued at up to $2,200 in rewards, including hotel stays, food credits, and slot-free play. It's a one-of-a-kind offer exclusively for new members. Sign up and play as a rewards member to get yours. Only at Wind Creek Casino and Hotel. See player services for details. Based on first day's losses from $200 up to $2,000. Must be 21 years or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's D.L. Hughley.
Tucker Carlson took it to the extreme and apologized to the electorate. I think Tucker knows that an 80-year-old demented man who's in his pants might not be the future anymore. I don't know that it is regret, but I think that he's done something I haven't seen very many people do, which is just take the onus on themselves and say they apologize and see what they could do to make it right.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is a story about money. Don't let them fool you otherwise. Steppenwolf Theater presents Windfall by the Academy Award-winning writer of Moonlight, Terrell Allen McCraney. When a Chicago father is offered a cash settlement for the loss of his child, everyone is entitled to an opinion. The ghost of his past, the strangers on his porch, and the in-the-round audience who envelops him. The Chicago Sun-Times says, Windfall finds the sustaining power of music and family. Windfall is directed by Awoye Tempo. It is on stage now through May 31st. Tickets at steppenwolf.org. That's steppenwolf.org.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
It's Rufus Williams. Every weekday morning from 7 to 9, I break down what's really going on, politics, power, and the people shaping our communities. Think of it like your morning newspaper, headlines, context, and what it actually means, so you can take it in, sit with it, and move smarter through your day. If you're part of the Root Crew, you already know. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, the comments are a whole other show. A family reunion happening in real time. Listen live or on the WVON app, or join us on Facebook Live. It's the Rufus Williams Show, weekdays 7 to 9, right here on 1690 WVON.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids would not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
When you need your space, attorney London.
773-721-3333. This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum. From cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
If you're in Oak Lawn, please steer clear of 103rd and Cicero. Apparently, there's a vehicle that careened into a building. There are lots of crews on the scene there, so you want to avoid that if at all possible. Taking a look at our weather, a little hazy sunshine for you. Temperatures are expected to top out right around 60 degrees. Right now, we're almost there. We're at 57 at O'Hare. It's 57 in Madison and 57 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 11:27. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And I've asked Bianchi to hold tight. I am authentically talking to a Black Magan in the South. And he gave me some context clues. He was a part of the build of the Sears Tower, which began in August of 1970, that opened in 1974, so 56 years ago. So I'm pinpointing an age without asking an age because, you know, I want to be respectful. And he said a few things about, you know, how hospitable one would be to come to the South and how you get gumbo, you get everything you want in Louisiana, but you better go on back with that Yankees. And that's going back to the North. And in other words, respecting and liking the way that it is. And I asked you, Bianchi, you can bring him back into the conversation. When it came to tariffs, You know, you said that your president, Donald Trump, has been great. And when it came to tariffs, you supported it. I want to bring up the Wharton School of Business. Are you familiar with the Wharton School of Business?
I've heard that name before.
So your president was a graduate. And, you know, the Wharton School of Business vehemently was opposed of the position of Trump on tariffs from the start. And yet, you know, what I want to say is that your perspective on tariffs was from a global standpoint of an opportunistic lens of a businessman. But yet and still, do you agree that America has suffered with the transfer of the weight of tariffs and how the tax was transferred to Americans? Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Well, I hear what people say. Tariffs are designed to make openings where Americans can start producing and manufacturing.
No. That's not the lens. Listen, because I want you to, because I've appreciated you talking. I just want to get an understanding of you knowing that.
I don't agree. Well,
you don't agree?
Like
it's a yes or no.
I don't agree with all of it. No.
So
there's no tariffs on eggs and chicken.
Well, actually, sir, respectfully. Now, I've allowed you to engage with me, and I will hope we can remain respectful.
Yeah, there's no tariffs on eggs and chicken.
Yeah, actually, it was, and in fact, there are some premier companies that are suing because of the tariffs that were transferred. So actually, it was. That's what tariff is, a tax. It's an associated tax that trickles down, and the result of the unsanctioned tariffs that your president imposed on Americans, we did pay the price. And there is a receipt for this, and there is fact to support it. That's what I wanted to get at. Secondly, folks are concerned.
And let me respond to that real quick before you go.
Wait, because I don't have much time, and I'm gonna have to let you go. But I know, right? I've enjoyed our conversation. I want you to continue to call me back because I find you to be so fascinating. Can you commit to doing that?
Well, I had a brief moment of spare time,
and when you have it again, that's what unicorns are. When you have it again, call me back again. I appreciate you listening all the way. Where are you in Louisiana?
Well, we way north of underwater New Orleans, that's for sure.
Okay.
So we outside of Baton Rouge.
Outside of Baton Rouge. Well, I thank you for calling and keep listening to the show. Listen, guys, Brother B, Eddie, Ernst, Charles. We didn't have more than 40 plus calls today. When we come back, I do have a special guest in studio. If I can't get to them all, I promise I'll take them tomorrow. And we will debrief on our black unicorn who identifies as a black maggot. I thank God for Bianchi and his iteration of where we are in America so that we Yankees up north won't forget. Need you not ever forget. Be real Jewish in this moment. We'll be back.
Partly cloudy as we climb near 60. I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. Apparently, 8% of people on electronic monitoring in Cook County are AWOL. That's according to a new report from the state's attorney's office. According to the report, more than 300,000 people are in the program, with nearly 250 accused offenders with pending criminal cases not in compliance. This report comes after several violent incidents involving defendants on electronic monitoring, such as Alfonso Talley, a convicted felon with 4 pending cases and now accused of ditching his electronic monitor and shooting and killing Chicago police officer John Bartholomew and critically wounding his partner at Swedish Hospital last month. The Chicago Public Schools' financial woes have worsened. They're now facing a $732 million budget deficit. In order to fix it, some teaching positions may end up on the chopping block. Perry Williams reports.
CPS CEO Macklin King announced yesterday during a budget briefing that the school system faces a deficit of $732 million and everything is on the table.
We will prioritize the resources closest to students and work to find savings in areas of the budget that are more removed from students, like central office.
King gave no word on how many jobs would be cut or if every school needed a reduced budget. The school board must approve a balanced spending plan by August 29th. I'm Harry Williams.
A prom stunt in South Suburban Markham is causing some controversy. Quintina Brown, who is the chief of the local park district, paid for a helicopter to land for her daughter and to be a backdrop for a prom photo.
And she was graduating, and this was going to be a memorable experience. I just wanted to be able to provide that for her. I didn't think that it was going to blow up as much as it did.
Authorities did shut down the May 8th event, calling it a safety hazard. Police did hand out tickets to Brown and the chopper pilot. The village of Markham is also considering additional legal actions. Well, State Representative LaShawn Ford came out of a field of 13 Democratic candidates to win the 7th congressional district in the March Illinois primary elections. Now, in an exclusive interview this morning, he reflects on his successful win and tells WVON's Rufus Williams that the biggest factor was, of course, the endorsement from his mentor, U.S. Congressman Danny K. Davis.
So we really align well with doing work for the people. And so I was blessed to be able to have such I would say a legend in the United States Congress and to endorse me.
Representative Ford says he's focused on issues affecting Illinois residents, such as the new federal SNAP benefits requirements and cuts, as well as the upcoming general election in November. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 11:35.
Well, the reason why I'm fired up is because
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch. Like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Video gambling terminals aren't owned by us. They're owned by out-of-state corporations that have never invested in our neighborhoods or our families. They take the money, we take the hit. These machines kill union jobs and drain pension funds for first responders. When these machines move in, crime goes up, break-ins rise. Our community pays the price. We deserve good union jobs, safer streets, and real investments that stay here and build something lasting. Tell City Council, repeal video gambling terminals. Paid for by Neighborhoods Safety First Association.
It's gospel with Pam Morris Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there. WVON.
It's Matt McGill.
Matt, we did want to give you a little how do you do today from McGuire. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? You may think you're upper class, but you're just the horses. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do?
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
One big theater there, and it's hard for our
This support is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes. Installation is easy. And they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Before we go to traffic, I want to do an update on the electronic monitoring story. According to the report, there are more than 3,000 people in the program with nearly 250 accused offenders with pending cases, not 300,000. Once again, that number is 3,000. Now taking a look at what's happening on the roadways. As you make your way along the Ryan, it looks like you're moving along at the posted speed. There are no problems, no delays to report. Light traffic for now along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive each way. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some bright skies, but a few clouds. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out at around 60 degrees tonight, level off at around 44. Temperatures are climbing nicely. We've been pretty steadily climbing. We're now at 57 at Midway, 57 in Madison, and 57 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I have come so far and struggled for so long. I am the master of hundreds of workers. They all look to me. Can I abandon them? How will they live if I am not free?
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And listen, guys, in the studio with me is a special guest. I know we just got gifted a black unicorn, a black Megan, and I promise I will get back to Bianchi. He just, the gift that keeps on grifting. He remind me of the president. But right now I had to take a point of privilege because of our love for the arts. When you think about the TCS, it is in dedication to culture, arts, and politics. And our relationship with Broadway in Chicago is something special. And I've had some talent walk through this door that is unmeasurable. And when it comes to the success of the programming that comes through the city of Chicago, it is a gift around the world, many of whom have traveled the globe. Live and in color is Randy Jeter. He plays the character Bishop of Dion. And Les Mis has come to Chicago, and it is premiering right here for a limited time at Cadillac Palace Theater until May 24th. And that beautiful voice that he has, I asked him, could he sing? And he said he hopes so. They pay him enough. I don't know if they're paying him enough, but this brother is in the studio, and he is from Chocolate City, as he says, straight out of Washington, D.C. Talk to me, Randy. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Love the city. Happy to be back.
You love our city. What you love about our city?
I mean, you know what? I was telling someone this, that it reminds me of DC a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Chicago's a little bigger, but DC, it has a vibe to it. Similar architecture. And I just love seeing the mix of people.
Oh, really? Really? Because ultimately, when we have visitors, oftentimes, I don't know if this is similar to DC, you see the tourist side of Chicago. Have you been to the neighborhoods of Chicago?
Yeah, I have some cousins through marriage, and I actually don't remember what neighborhood it was, but they took me.
Give me the symptoms. I'll tell you what street you was on.
I think it was somewhere, I want to say I went northwest.
Well,
somewhere.
tell me, when I say the symptoms, what did you see?
Okay. I saw like some mediocre homes, but I went to a couple bars. They just seemed like.
So they have bars in the community?
In the community.
Okay.
They just seemed like real people. They didn't seem like people who were just, taking pictures of tall buildings.
And what kind of people did you see?
In this neighborhood, it was, I want to say like 60% white, 40% black or, Hispanic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in those symptoms, here's what I recognize. This is a great exercise. You were on the north side of Chicago, a little ways away from the lake. So I'm going to say northwest, right?
Maybe. It's been a while.
And because there were bars in the community, like active bars that really expounds upon north, and because it was more Caucasian than Latino, you couldn't have been in Pilsen, which further exasperates my my point. Yeah,
Okay.
you were on the north side.
Okay.
Because northeast would be more predominantly white.
Mhm.
Northeast is towards the lake. That's Wrigley, Lakeshore, all of that cool stuff. And at least you've been to a neighborhood. Now, for me, I'm far south, right? Like I'm as black and as back as it goes when it
Okay.
comes to the city. And I love where I live. I live in the first national park in the city of Chicago in Pullman. But I say that because we have 77 communities. And typically when we have, when we
Wow.
have folks that come in that are a part of the productions, and they say they love the city, I just want to say, that is downtown, but it is an attribute of our city,
Mhm.
but it is so much more to the city.
I
But at
bet.
least we can get you to say you love it, and the fact that you got some family. So now you got a cousin all the way out in the far south, as back as it goes. So if you ever want to explore all of the attributes of Chicago, buckle up, Buttercup. I'll take you on a turbulent ride.
Listen, I will. I'll tell my folks in DC too. We're coming.
I'm trying to tell you, because even when I do visit DC, I feel the same way. I know that I'm in the touristy side. And I'd be like, well, where else is DC? And then folks warn me, or don't go here and don't do this, and da 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 da. And I'd be like, see, you part of the non-attraction of where are the people. And then, like you said, the mediocre homes you may see, or some of the realness, the quality of life. And I think that I bring that up because a part of your story is a story of love and
Yes.
sacrifice,
Yes.
redemption, resilience, the human spirit. And you are in 19th century France.
Yes.
Now, I've lived in Paris, and I was testing you. I asked you, you speak French? You said no. So how does a black man from DC land the role of the times when it comes to this opportunity? And you don't speak French.
Well, this is the thing. The show is not in French.
I know.
Now, we have different productions that are everywhere in the world. There's a French production. You go to the UK and you'll hear their vernacular. But I will say this, though. The audition process was very meticulous, very nitpicky, and they work with us to the T to make sure we can portray these characters as they should be portrayed. Now, it's a gauntlet of high class, and there's a scene where there's like a scene where we're all singing at the end of the day. You're another day older. At the end of the day, you have to still work, and we're all kind of poor and like holding each other and begging and pleading and begging for money. So you have to, being in the show, you have to be able to portray all types of people. And I think that they
Sounds
found
like
it across.
Chicago.
There you
The
go.
highs and lows.
Listen.
So you thought I was walking you to and through, and anyway, when you travel throughout the world, you see. If you really put your seeing glasses, you can't help but to see. And what I did was a snapshot to why you all should come see this play. Not only just to come support you, but to support a window to the world, especially in times such as this. Human spirit. Talk to me about how human spirit is captured on the stage.
The story begins with our main protagonist, Jean Valjean, and it's pretty much about his human spirit and how he was put in prison for stealing a loaf of bread, which is crazy. And it's like he got 20 years. And I play the bishop, who basically comes along Valjean. Valjean is kind of on a work release program, and he steals something small just to feed himself. He gets caught, and the bishop was questioned by the police and said, "Hey, this man stole from you." But Bishop decides to say, "No, he didn't. You know what? He's fine." Then he continues to give him even more gold to say, "Hey, change your life." So, I think the story pretty much tells you sometimes you need that person to be there for you, to speak for you and help you change your life. And the show just runs a course of his lifetime. And also other main characters are involved and cross their paths cross with Jean Valjean. But his story of redemption is kind of unmatched, I feel, in musicals. And I'm a little biased. It is. I'm in the show, and it happens to be one of my favorite shows. So I kind of lucked out in that aspect. And I understudy Valjean, and I get to play him about once a week, twice a week sometimes.
You know what? You said something. You said, it's crazy how a man can go to jail 20 years for a loaf of bread. I'm going to give you this. That is the history of this country when it comes to the Reconstruction era, post-slavery, and the evolution of the chain gang and parchment farms, and many of whom were roped into the judicial system and the penal system for loaves of bread to feed themselves because they were newly freed slaves and had no place in society because they were cast out as black men that did not belong because they were looked at as not human.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, a black man gets to save a man and find redemption, and we struggle with that in this country. I thank God for the journey of this play, and hopefully for those that need to be reminded in this moment as to why you should see it, because as you are displaying human spirit on the stage, we're losing it in this country. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
It's D.L. Hughley.
Nick Cannon's logic is as weak as his. Everybody fucking knew that Republicans freed the slaves. Everybody knew it. The last time they did something for black people was 163 years ago. You got to update your resume. Have a 5-year gap on your resume and see if it's valid. When Republicans did that, Hawaii wasn't a state. If you're going to talk about the greatest of a policy that helped black people out, it should at least be sometime after the fucking moon landing.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Ready to fire up your taste buds, Chicago? Black-owned Kodo Hibachi serves fresh, authentic hibachi and sushi, served with a smile. Grab takeout, order delivery, or dine in casual style. No flaming show, just flavor that steals the spotlight. And hey, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Visit them at 258 West 31st Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8. Friday and Saturday till 9. Sundays till 7. And don't forget, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Kodo Hibachi, where flavor meets culture.
Pull up to the flagship location at 258 West 31st Street and stay tuned. The Kodo family is growing. New location coming soon.
Hey Chicago, it's Matt McGill. We had so much fun last year. We're heading back to the Chicago Blues Festival as their official radio partner June 5th through the 7th in Millennium Park. But guess what? On Thursday, June 4th, we're going to kick things off. That's me and my buddy Sir Henry Cheatham. We're going to the iconic Ramova Theater, 3618 South Austin, and we're bringing on stage one of Chicago's favorites, the one, the only, Willie Clayton. And Chicago's own, the legendary John Primer.
Well, I'm rolling and tumbling, talking all out of my head.
You want to join us? Then reserve your free seats now at RemovaChicago.com. That's RemovaChicago.com. Then keep it right here to WVON for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Remova and to hear more about this year's lineup. I'll see you there Thursday, June 4th at the Ramova Theater to kick off the 2026 Chicago Blues Festival, brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events.
Yeah, it was tough. So I don't know.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/ground advantage to learn more.
77 communities, so sometimes when people
WVON traffic and weather now.
We're tracking a new accident. This one is on the inbound side of the Eisenhower at Austin Boulevard. That accident is blocking the left lane. And also in Oak Lawn at Cicero and 103rd Street, where that vehicle crashed into a building. Crews are still on the scene. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some bright skies, but cloudy at the same time. Temperatures topping out right around 60, but they roll back. We're looking at 55 now at Midway, 55 in Dalton, and 55 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Randy Jeter's in the building. That amazing voice and his stellar star is here with us, but he's not here with us long. Les Mis is on Broadway right here at Cadillac Palace Theater all the way into May 24th. And it is something to see. The story of redemption, resilience, the human spirit. Sounds like a world you want to live in? Well, we're still in America. But in America, you can see it on stage right now and revisit why you should act and be a good steward of people. Because his character, Bishop DeYoung, is a redeemer. Talk to us about love, because your voice is lovely and you are finding a way to show love of people. What does that mean to you in the 19th century of France, of all places? What does that mean?
Oh man, that's a deep question. I think for me, love is loving people unconditionally. And now you can. It's easy to love someone unconditionally if they're your family, they're your best friend, your husband, your wife. But to try to love your fellow man unconditionally is what I believe we should all be trying to maintain or move towards. And my character, the bishop, actually he shows that love without a doubt. This man that he doesn't know, who's obviously been in prison for 20 years, 25 years, he gets caught stealing again, and this man decides to show his unconditional love to a stranger, and in return, that stranger, I don't want to give away too much of the show, but that stranger returns his love 100-fold to many people throughout this story. And I think if that doesn't get you to come see the show, I don't know what would.
You know what? It comes to me. My aunt says it all the time. To whom much is given, much is expected. And I think you're right. I find it to be inspirational. Um, and at times such as this, right, where all things are going on, at the root of the TCS, the Cleopatra Show, is culture, arts, and politics. And I find time to escape to the arts. Why are you invested in the arts? What drove you to be formally educated in the arts and live this profession out loud?
Growing up, there wasn't many people who looked like me in the world of opera and the world of musical theater. Now, things have changed drastically. But before I went to school, I thought to myself, I had those people who I looked up to who were in the arts, but it wasn't that many. And I thought to myself, man, could I do that professionally? Could I really go out and get a degree in this and do this? So I set myself ahead, and I went to Manhattan School of Music in New York, got a degree, musical theater, opera, and from then on, I decided to do it. And it's not just singing, portraying a character. You know, I learned very early on. I think when someone said like, "So you sing, you're not really doing anything. You're not a doctor. You're not saving people's lives." And I quickly realized that person was wrong. And what we get to do is give someone an outlet into a different world, and maybe change their perspective, or even like change their lives for a short period amount of time. But hopefully, what we do matters, and I think it does.
I second that notion. In fact, it's not a short period of time. Unfortunately, in the world that we're in, a short period of time is 30 seconds because that's how long folks' attention is. Maybe a minute, minute 30. You look at the reel about minute and 30.
Yeah.
You captivate an audience for at least 2 hours.
In this case, 3.
Oh, there it is. So that is more than a notion that you pour into and you manifest not only the imagination, but a world in which a number of us would love to live in. So I thank you for all that you do and that you continue to do. Real quickly,
Yeah.
before I let you go, how many no's have you faced? Do you
How
have
many
a count?
no's?
Yeah,
Listen, it's just there's too many.
too many to count.
There's too many. I mean, I'm auditioning right now. We close our show, which has been going for 4 years. We close in June 30th. So now I'm in the midst of auditioning for Broadway, some other tours, some other just random stuff, and I've gotten a few no's, and
There
it's
it
gonna keep
is.
happening.
Listen, Randy Jeter, he didn't count the no's because all he needed was a yes. And since then, he's been on the case and traveled the world. Les Mis. I want you all to check this out at Cadillac Palace Theater. This brother is on fire. More to come. I wish you nothing but success. And when you do, you come right back here to the TCS show. And listen, guys, it's only here until May 24th. So please go check it out at Cadillac Palace Theater. Tickets are on sale at BroadwayandChicago.com. And if you need not know, heading to the Lincoln Park Mayfest this weekend, hop on board Metro and get there quickly, comfortably, and safely. Plus, the weekend passes are available for fares of all kind of riders. Metro gets you to the fun without breaking the bank. Plus, purchasing tickets is easy with the Venture app. Metro's 95% on-time rate means you can skip the stress of traffic and get there fast. So this weekend, stop sitting on board the never-ending gridlock of traffic and paying for expensive parking. Take Metro so you can drive less and do more. I know I'm about to get on Metro. So listen, guys, that has been the show. It's been a Fired Up Wednesday. Tomorrow is a Thoughtful Thursday. And I am coming in with a heavy topic. And I want us to lean in with our ears and be open to give and support because we've lost an angel. A young Black boy has been taken from us too soon. And I am going to speak exclusively with his coach. And I want us to support his mother. So Thoughtful Thursday at 9 a.m. only on the Cleopatra Show.
As temperatures climb near 60 on this Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. I'm in Illinois, and in the headlines, the Chicago Public Schools financial woes have worsened. They're now facing a $732 million budget deficit. According to a new report, 8% of people on electronic monitoring in Cook County are AWOL. And some Chicago aldermen want answers from the mayor's office as to why it's taking so long to replace ShotSpotter. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app and 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 12:01.
VIN News Now. Authorities have identified the teen killed at a post-prom party in Northwest Indiana. Like 17-year-old Javon Townsend of Michigan City was shot and later died at a hospital. His grandmother spoke to the press.
It hurts, but when it knocks at your door, it's a feeling that you just can't fathom.
Police are offering a $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Maryland's Black Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 250 bills into law at the State House. Key measures include the Utility Relief Act to lower energy costs. He also approved Mason's Law to upgrade dangerous storm drains. And C.J. Wallace, son of Biggie Smalls, has scored a legal win in a defamation case tied to false allegations by a former collaborator. A judge granted Wallace a default judgment after producer Jonathan Hay failed to respond to a lawsuit. Wallace accused Hay of spreading damaging claims involving him and Sean Diddy Combs. Skippy